Tell us about that journey of trying to finalize that red mask.
It's funny. Actually, you mean this one sitting right here, right next to me,
That's
right
right.
there? So it was so interesting, like creating, there's in a great way that, this movie's four principal actors, but there's a fifth and a sixth. And the fifth, I would say, is obviously the red mask, and the sixth was the house. The house was so important. And I got a great story for you about the house that remind me to tell you. But in terms of this mask, when I read this script and I thought about the mask and I thought about what it meant, like gig in, maybe this is the doc person in me, but I just think as somebody who grew up in this country with parents that immigrated from India and grew up in very Indian house, but born and raised in the Midwest, which was, at times white as the driven snow. Identity's always been something I struggled with. What's my place in this world? Am I Indian or am I American? Like, what am I? I'm not sure. And so I found that in my past work that I've done, identity was always a theme that I was just gravitated to in stories. And in the case of the Red Mask, for me, what was so interesting is on one hand, there was also an idea that I played with. It's like when it comes to the, online fandom and just this diehard, occasionally toxic version of it, whatever extreme you're on, you almost get to this place with the internet and social media where who needs a guy in a mask when there's nothing scarier than this online anonymity? And to me, I really started looking at masks and all the masks we wear and what happens when you put two people, lock them in a house with who have two different ideals, and you actually take the mask off and each side takes their mask off. What happens? And it was down to that simple question. And so when it comes to the mask, like crafting this mask, interestingly, we gave it this shape, this teardrop, where it's like a crack from Karina as if it happened in the original, which obviously one of the best parts about doing this movie is we got to create a lore that didn't exist, right? I created an entire 10-page backstory on the mask and like what the original 1982 slasher was, what happened, and I gave it to all my HODs. But, Jenna Tooley, our incredible production designer, when I gave her the backstory, she created this. And like when we saw this little teardrop, it was almost as if like a character in pain, but also this crack that Karina, the original final girl, would have given him. So it was fun to play with that idea and really kind of shape the character's world and what it looked like, what it felt like, how he moved, all that.